International Silver Company presents The Silver Theater, starring Rosalind Russell and James Stewart in Up from Darkness, directed by Conrad Nagel. Brought to you in behalf of two of the greatest names in silverware, International Sterling, world-famous solid silver, and 1847 Rogers Brothers, America's finest silver plate.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Conrad Nagel. We welcome you to the fifth of the new series of Silver Theater dramatic productions. In weeks to come, you'll hear such stars as Francho Tone, Helen Hayes, Ginger Rogers, Betty Davis, and Clark Gable, playing in stories by America's foremost authors. Today, we're proud to welcome back to Silver Theater Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's brilliant stars, Rosalind Russell and James Stewart, in the concluding episode of Up from Darkness, a two-part radio play especially adapted for us by True Boardman from an original story by Grover Jones. And now the lights are being dimmed and our curtain rises. It was just 3 months ago that Michael Gargan's father died the quick, dark death of disaster in a mine. And since that day, she's lived for but one purpose, to beat the mine that killed him, to rob it of the power to take men's lives. This is the task that faces Michael Gargan, played by Rosalind Russell, a task in which he has one strong ally, Tim Barlow, played by James Stewart. Our scene, the head office of the mine, early one evening. Michael is conferring with Mr. Melvin, the head bookkeeper.
Miss Gargan, if I hadn't worked for your father for 30 years, I wouldn't say this. But if you want to have a mine to run, you've got to stop throwing money away on them machines.
Throwing it away? Did it ever occur to you, Mr. Melvin, that the safety of the Gargan mine might mean more to me than a surplus in the Gargan bank account?
You can't run a business on sentimentality, Miss Gargan. This is a coal mine, not a charity institution. Dangerous, perhaps it is. But mining is always dangerous. Your father accepted that fact all his life.
Yes, he did, and because he did, he... Oh, we won't argue, Mr. Melvin. Please see that the orders for the new motorized equipment are put through immediately.
You mean you're actually going to...
Oh, Mickey.
Oh, hello, Tim.
Look, I've been trying.
I'll be through in just a minute.
Oh, hello, Melvin.
Now, here's the month's balance, Miss Gargan. If you can call it that, considering it's written mostly in red ink.
Thank you.
I'll go now. Mrs. Melvin's been waiting dinner for an hour.
I'm sorry. I know the change here has been hard on everybody, but things will adjust themselves in time.
I hope so. Good night.
Good night.
The old sourpuss. Look, Mickey, do you have to keep working 16 hours every day? I've been trying all afternoon.
Excuse me.
Oh.
Hello? Who? Oh, Mr. Wyrick. Fine, thank you. How's the Wyrick Coal Company? Yes, Mr. Wyrick. No, I'm sorry. I happen to feel that that's my own business and no one else's. I see. And if I don't? Well, you may as well understand this, Mr. Wyrick. If making the Gargan mine safe means running it at a loss, I'll run it at a loss. Good night.
What now?
Mr. Wyrick over in Hastings is up in arms about the improvements I'm making. Says it's unfair competition and is going to do something about it.
Oh, it's not so good. Don't worry, Mickey. Now, he's just talking.
I don't care, Tim. I'm winning. Wyrick or anyone else can say what they please, but I'm doing it. I'm licking the mine. Do you realize there hasn't been one person killed, not a serious injury since Dad... in over 3 months?
Yeah, that's swell.
Well, think of a record like that, Tim, even before the job is finished. And by the time we've installed the rest of the equipment I've ordered, we'll be well on our way.
Mickey, that's what I wanted to talk to you about now, those machines and safety devices.
Yes, Tim?
Well, never mind now. Hey, your face is dirty again. Ink this time, I think. Here, I'll fix it. You know, since you turned working woman, you can manage to get your face smudged up more.
Crazy. Tim?
Yeah.
Tim, I've got to check this balance.
Oh, look, Mickey, it'd work out swell, you know it? We could drive over to Sheridan and then go for a week at Bryant Falls. I got quite a lot saved up, and besides, I got an uncle in Dubuque who's going to leave me $3,000, and he just wrote Mom last week that he's feeling pretty low. And
Tim! Wait a minute. Is this supposed to be a proposal?
Yeah, I guess that's what you'd call it.
Oh, Tim,
You see, Mickey, I sort of think maybe your dad would like to know that somebody was taking care of you. You know, a woman on her own can manage to get herself mixed up in more darn jams, especially if she's sort of bull-headed. And no, I don't.
Miss Gargan. Miss Gargan.
Hello, Jan.
Miss Gargan, I just here, so I come quick tell you. Tonight at Miners' Hall. Meeting.
Well, go on, Jan. What kind of meeting?
Men from mine, Miss Gargan. They meet to talk what they do about changes you make in mine. Everybody be there. I think you want to know.
Thanks, Jan. Thanks for telling me.
Okay. You do something, maybe, huh? It's not so good, Miss Gargan.
I know, Jan. I know. Good night.
Good night. Night, Tim.
You knew about this, didn't you, Tim?
I guess I did.
And that was the reason for your proposal?
No, not the reason. Maybe it's sort of rushed it a little.
I see.
Now, look, Mickey, this is serious, honest. Now, you've been up here in the office. You don't know how the men have been feeling. It started as soon as you began making changes down there, and it's been getting worse all the time. There's no telling what'll happen at that meeting.
No matter what happens, Tim, it can't make any difference. I started this fight, and I'm going to finish it.
Mickey, you still haven't answered me. Will you marry me?
But don't you see I can't answer that now, Tim? I can't, believe me, not until I've finished this job. Oh, but, Tim, ask me again, will you? No matter what happens to your uncle in Dubuque.
I've been waiting to see just what a bunch looked like that could go on working in a woman's mind. I'm surprised at you. Some of you have even got your hands dirty. Now listen to me, you guys. Any sap knows that a woman around a mine is unlucky. And they don't make them any unluckier than Miss Michael Gargan. Look at all these fancy machines she shoved in down at the mine. Do you like all that junk? No. Of course you don't. And here's something else. Just wait a while till these fancy machines get really working. One by one, you'll find yourselves getting fired. The machines will be doing the work. Yeah, not only some of you are going to be out of a job, you'll all be out. 6 more months of that highfalutin gal boss and this mine will shut down. You'll all be in the street. Yeah, your wives and your kids will be hungry. But that don't matter. Miss Gargan don't care about them. She only cares about...
Slocum, that's a dirty lie, and you know it.
I've been waiting for you to blow off, Barlow.
Now, listen to me, you guys. This bird Slocum doesn't live here, he doesn't work here, and I'll tell you what he is. He's a hired agitator from the Wyrick mine over at Hastings.
Oh, yeah? Well, how does it feel to be promoted, Barlow? A mule skinner one day and a boss foreman the next. Having a gal for a boss may be unlucky for everybody else. But it's sure all right for you.
Why, you low.
Look out, Slocum.
Get away. Let him out. Come on. Get back, you guys.
Nice going, Barlow. Sucking a man when he's not looking.
You were looking then, you're looking now. Come on.
Now, look here.
No kicks and no
Let go of me. Get out.
Take it easy. Go fight.
There'll be none of that here, Barlow.
Now, listen to me. Listen, all of you. Now, don't pay any attention to this guy. Don't be crazy. Look at what Mickey Gargan's trying to do. Suppose she has spent dough on those machines. It wasn't for herself, was it? And if she fired anybody, no, and she's not gonna. Now, give her a chance. She's only had 3 months. She's worked her head off. She's...
Mickey.
Who's in charge of this meeting? You, Mr. Saunders?
Yes, Miss Gargan, but...
I'd like to say something to the men myself.
Well, this is a miners' meeting, ma'am, and according to the rules, an operator...
Then I'm
can't...
going to break your rules. Men, I heard most of what Mr. Slocum said a moment ago. And there are some things I want you to understand. He said I wanted to take your jobs away. That's not true. What I'm trying to do is for your own good. And I want you to...
No operators free to a meeting unless they're invited. Well, what are we waiting for?
Come on, let's go.
I move the meeting be adjourned.
Yeah, come on, boys, come on. You can all go down the street to Chambers.
Wait a minute, please. Can't you listen to me?
Hey, now, what's the matter with all you? Give her a break. Wait a minute.
It doesn't matter, Tim.
I'm sorry, Miss Gargan. Nothing I can do. Such fools they are.
Thanks, Jan. It's all right.
I go back to mine. Good night.
Oh, Mickey, you shouldn't have come here.
I see that now, Tim. But we'll win them over. I know we will. What we're doing is for their own good, and as long as you believe in me, as long as you'll help me.
Quit it, will you?
Well, what's wrong, Tim?
I'm a liar, that's all. Now, look, Mickey. I'd lick any other man that says it, but it's true. You're wrong. And if you keep on the way you are, you'll wreck the mine.
Tim!
You've gone about it with your eyes shut. Those men have always dug coal in just one way. It's part of their life, and now you want to change that life. Well, you can't, Mickey. Believe me. You're not a miner. You can't understand.
Wait a minute, Tim. There's just one thing I want to know. Are you helping me finish what I started, or aren't you?
I can't, Mickey. Not the way you're doing it. For your own sake, I can't. You're gonna...
That's enough. So I've gone about it with my eyes shut, have I? Well, maybe you're right. I was blind. I was blind enough to think that you, at least, could understand. To think that what you asked me this afternoon meant...
Mickey, please, now listen to me.
Why? Why should I listen to you? I wouldn't understand. You're a miner. I'm not. We speak a different language. Fear and suffering and death, they're not the same things to you and me.
I'm only trying to make you see it
Will
straight.
you go now, please?
Mickey.
Go on with the rest of them to Chambers Hall.
Mickey,
go on. Leave me alone. I'll do it alone, Dad. I'll do it anyway. I said I'd make the mine pay for your death, and I will. So help me. I'll do it alone.
Just heard Act One of the second episode of Up from Darkness, starring Rosalind Russell and James Stewart. And now, before we bring you Act Two, we bring you a passing comment on today's styles.
Many of the fashions women follow today reflect the subtle blending of old and new, of your grandmother's day and your day. And in silverware, too, you find the same fascinating combination of romantic tradition and modern art. Particularly is this true of International Sterling's bewitching pattern, Enchantress. For the lustrous, mirror-clear center panel is truly modern. The delicate carving at either side just as truly romantic. A pattern all the more desirable because it's solid silver. Silver that grows richer, mellower as time goes on. And yet this exquisite silverware is not the luxury you might think. For example, you can get a place setting for one person in the Enchantress pattern, 6 distinctive pieces of solid silver for only $16.75. And there are other larger services also priced within your reach. What's more, there's a budget payment plan whereby you can buy your sterling silver right out of income. Your silverware dealer will be delighted to tell you all about it. See him tomorrow. See Enchantress, too. And begin now to make a dream come true. To own solid silver by International Sterling.
And now the final act of Up from Darkness. There are 3 in Middletown who have known a sleepless night. First, Michael, desolate and alone in the Gargan house on the hill, knowing that now she can expect no help in her struggle against the miners and against the mine itself. Next, Tim walking the streets while blackness turns to dawn, bitterly unhappy at his action in deserting Michael. And third, Tim's mother, who has waited through an endless night for his return. And at last in the Barlow home, just after 7 in the morning.
Tim, boy.
Oh, Mom,
They've been waiting for you, son. Is something wrong?
I'm leaving, Mom.
Leaving?
Don't ask me why, I just got to.
So you're just like all the rest of them. Or maybe worse. At least they're not running out.
You don't understand.
Oh, don't I, though? Just because the men all called a strike, you ain't got the courage.
Right.
Don't tell me you don't know. Last night at Chambers Hall, they voted not to go to work this morning, or any morning, as long as Michael Gargan is in charge.
Yeah. Yeah, I see. So long, Mom.
Go on with you, then. And I'm not so sure but what she's well rid of you.
Oh, don't talk like that.
You're a fool, Tim Barlow. And I'm ashamed of you.
What do you want me to do?
Do? I want you to stay here and fight for the girl you love.
I did fight for her, Mom. I'd keep on if she was right.
If she was right, she is right. Do you think that Mickey Gargan is the only woman in Middleton who wants safety in the mine?
But the men, Mom.
The men are fools, like you. They don't like changes because they've always worked another way. It's humbug. Let them learn, I say.
Oh, you still don't understand. A woman just can't run a mile.
Why can't she? So Michael's wrong, is she? Well, I'll tell you how she's wrong. She hasn't learned to tell that bunch of numbskulls where to go.
Mom, Mickey's a girl, remember. She can't.
Why can't she? She's a Gargan, isn't she? Mike Gargan called every man in this town by his first name, and vice versa. And when she learns that, and a few cuss words, you'll just watch her run that mine.
Mom. Sock me one, will you? Go on, sock me.
I never needed it more, but I'm not starting that now. Ah, Tim. I couldn't be seeing you throw away your heart and your life.
Oh, God bless you, Mom.
Go on with you now. Get on and find your girl.
What time is it now, Jan?
20 after 7.
I see.
But maybe still not strike. Maybe mine was just late, huh?
All of them, Jan. All 20 minutes late. Jan, why didn't you strike too? Why do you stay at the mine?
Me top man. Keep the fan going in mine. But anyway, Jan not strike. Mike Gargan always good friend to Jan. Jan always good friend to Mike's daughter. With my people, once friend, always friend.
You can't always say that for my people.
Oh, you don't worry, Miss Michael. Him funny guy. He's kind of crazy like all Americans, but
Jan.
he come back. Oh, you think Jan blind, maybe?
Jan, please. Please don't talk about Tim.
Sure. Sure. You go home now, maybe, huh?
No. No, I'm going down in the mine.
Down in the mine?
I want to talk to someone.
But the mine empty, Miss... Oh. Oh, you mean down there? Your father? Oh, yeah, I understand. Good, maybe you go. Sure. Sure, you just get on cage, I'll let you down. You got Captain Pete lamp?
Yes, here's one.
Wait, I like. Now? You're not scared to go down alone?
No. I'm not scared.
Good. Miss Michael, maybe down there, you say hello for Jan, huh?
All right, Jan.
Down you go.
Dad, I had to come and tell you. I've let you down. This mine of yours, Mike, I really fixed it up. I fixed it up so swell that nobody will come work in it. You see, you shouldn't have called me Michael after all. I guess we both see that now. Oh, Dad.
You've got to learn to love the mine. Michael, girl. To love it. Not be afraid.
I'm not afraid. I licked that, Dad. I told you I would, and I have. But what good does it do? I can't run the mine without men to work in it.
Mike. Remember, girl. Mike. If they call you by your first name, you're okay. You're okay.
I tried, Dad. I tried. But they never will. They never will.
Mickey.
Tim.
Mickey, you shouldn't be down here by yourself.
I wasn't by myself.
Oh, but you... Oh, yeah, I get it. Do you want me to go, Mickey?
No, Tim. After all, your brother's here as much as Dad.
Yeah. Oh, look, Mickey, there's something I want to tell you here. I love you.
Oh, Tim. Tim, darling.
Mickey,
Oh, don't say any more. Just hold me close. I love you, Tim. I do love you.
Well, then that's all that matters. When two people love each other, they're unbeatable. Do you know that? They are, Mickey. And now you and I are going to fight this thing through. Both of us.
But it's too late, Timmy. I've messed everything up. I've already failed.
Failed? What do you mean, failed? Listen, Mickey, you're right. You're right about everything you've done. It's just how you've done it that's been wrong.
Why was it wrong, Tim?
This mine isn't just yours, Mickey. It's the men's, too. Every one of them feels about it just like Mike Gargan did. And you shouldn't have changed things all at once, Mickey. Not without talking it over with those guys. Don't you see that?
But how could I, Tim? I was away so long. They're like strangers to me.
Well, don't let them be. They don't want a woman running the mine. Well, don't run it like a woman. Tell them where to head in, Mickey. And if you run out of words, you just ask me. You gotta stop making them call you Miss Gargan. You gotta make them call them Mike.
I know that. Somebody else already told me. And I'll do it.
Sure you will. You're gonna fight fire with fire. That's the way we'll lick them.
Sure we will. Tim, what did you say?
I said you gotta fight fire with fire.
And we will, Timmy. This strike, it's going to end now. Today. Come on, Tim.
Wildcat whistle. At the mine. Something's happened. Let's go.
A strike. And I suppose that stops men dying. I'm going to that mine.
Safety machines. Listen to that. Something's happened at the mine.
I told you it was bad luck to have a woman run a mine. Come on. There's the girl. There by the tipple at the head of the shaft. This was all a trick to get you back to work.
Oh, no, it's not. Listen to me. You all walked out on me before, but this time you're going to stay and listen. So you're all on strike. None of you like the things I've done to improve the mine. You don't want to work for a woman boss, do you? Oh, why don't you answer? You, Tom Carson. You don't want to work for me, do you? Or you, Luke, or you, Shorty. All right. That's all I want to know.
Wait a minute. Listen, everybody. This here gal's trying to cover
Now, look,
up.
Slocum.
Huh?
Mickey's talking here, and you're going to shut up.
This is a free country, Barlow. You can't stop me.
I can't. Are you looking now?
Hey, you got it.
All right, Mickey, go on. Go to him. Tell him.
And now, you women, what about you?
I'll tell you what about us. You got no right to scare us with that whistle when nothing's happened.
Well, something's going to happen, Mrs. Novak. Unless at least two women back me up.
What do you mean back you up? Why should we?
Because you're women. And being women, you can't help but understand the thing I've tried to do. Change the mine? Sure, I've changed it. I've changed it to give your men a chance to live down in that hole. Oh, what about it? Have you got the courage to tell your sons and husbands to go back to work? So you won't help me. So I have to fight your men alone. Well, that's great. There never was a Gargan that didn't like a fight.
And, boys, you've got one. None of you wants to work in the Gorgon mine. You'd rather go hungry than work in it. Well, then you're going hungry. Because I hate the mine. With or without improvements, I've always hated it. So I'm going to save us all a lot of trouble. Jan, hand me that piece of timber and open that firebox.
Here, Miss Gargan.
Do you see this tipple? Well, it's 40 years old and as dry as tinder.
Hey, she's got a torch. Miss Gargan, wait. What are you going to do?
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to burn the mine. There!
But the mine's on fire!
Oh, you've got to stop her.
Hey, she threw a torch down at the tipple.
Jack, don't stand there. The mine. Go put it out. And your job. Oh, go on, you bad Jim. Look at them go so they didn't like the mine. Fight fire with fire, ain't you?
Mickey, and you have. Tell them where to go, boy. How you told them.
Work whistle now,
Hey, John.
Sure, why not? Fire almost out now. Pretty soon, then, I'll go back to work. I blow a whistle, let town know strike over.
Sure, Jan. Let her blow. Go ahead.
Okay. And you do one swell job just now. You're damn fine boss, Mike.
Oh, Timmy. Timmy, I've done it. Did you hear? He called me Mike.
Sure he did. And they're all going to be calling you Mike. Hey, Mickey, crying. Hey, you can't cry. You're boss here.
I know. I just can't help it.
You can't help it? Well, you win, so you can't help crying. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
Yes, you are. Jan said so. Like all Americans. But, oh, Timmy, crazy or not, I love you.
In a few minutes, I'm going to ask Rosalind Russell and James Stewart to come out in front of our silver curtain so that you may meet them in person. But first, here's another friend of yours, John Conte.
Ladies and gentlemen, as soon as this program is over, will you go to your buffet drawer and look at your silverware? Is it the kind you can be really proud of? Silverware that adds distinction to your dinner table? And just how complete a service have you? Do you own salad forks and coffee spoons? If you're not perfectly satisfied with what you see, now is the time to replenish the service you have or to buy completely new silverware. Because now you can get solid silver like the international sterling we mentioned a few minutes ago, or the finest of silver plate like 1847 Rogers Brothers First Love at prices you never dreamed possible. First Love is a pattern of really unusual beauty. The floral ornament is deeply etched and richly raised in a perfection of craftsmanship never before found in silver plate. 1847 Rogers Brothers would like you to have a small, distinctive serving fork in this exquisite First Love pattern. A fork that sells for $1.50, but which is yours for only 25 cents. By all means, go to your silverware dealer tomorrow and get it. Look at sets of First Love while you're there and learn how easily and conveniently you can own the best in silver plate, 1847 Rogers Brothers. And now back to Conrad Nagel.
For two persons such as Rosalind Russell and James Stewart, there's only one thing we can do. Roz and Jimmy, here's the microphone and several millions of your fans.
Go ahead, Roz. You start.
Well, it's been very nice for both Jimmy and me returning together to the Silver Theater.
Right, you know, this
And
is a lot like the time we were on the Silver Theater last season. You know, you just finished a new picture for Metro Goldwyn Mayer then, and you've just finished the Citadel for them now.
Well, you were all banged up from playing football last year. Really banged up.
Yeah, you know, it's happened again in the same place.
Another football picture, Jimmy?
No, ice skating now for Ice Follies. Picture MGM has me making now. I never knew ice could hit back so hard, you know?
No, Jimmy, there's one more thing. Even nicer than a return engagement. Conrad has told me how much the people have liked First Love since we introduced it last season.
Yeah, Roz, can I interrupt again?
I suppose so.
I bought some silver last week, a whole lot of it. Enchantress and First Love, the pattern you named, you know, from a new house.
Is that mansion of yours finished?
No, the roof isn't on yet, but I thought I'd start furnishing it in the right way.
Good night, everyone.
So long.
Thank you.
Good night, Rosalind Russell and Jimmy Stewart. We'll see you both soon again.
Next week at the same time, the Silver Theater will star Fran Chatone with Rita Johnson in the Vivian Brotherton story Hollywood Legend, directed by Conrad Nagel, with original music scored and conducted by Felix Mills. All the characters and events in today's drama were purely fictional. John Conte speaking. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.